and welcome to the Get Fit with Jodelle show. I am pleased, very pleased and honored to have a guest with me today. But before I introduce him, I want to actually ask you a question. So how's your sleep? Because you hear me preach about sleep a lot. And I have had sleep issues my entire life up until this product that I have on my face. And the guy that I'm going to introduce you to is the founder of it. And yes, you too could also not have sleep issues if you were to possibly get these blue light blocking glasses that I'll be demonstrating and that James will be demonstrating as well today. No more sleep supplements needed. So I want to give a big welcome to James Swanwick, if I pronounce it correct, but we can also say Swanwick. So we'll touch on that a little bit too. James, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Jodelle, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, well, I actually have a cool story because I had struggled with sleep my entire existence since the death of my parents when I was 17. And it wasn't until I met you at PaleoFX about 2 years ago, I think it was, and I saw the glasses and I'm like, you know what have I got to lose? I'm on all these sleep supplements and I'm, as a nutritionist, I could fix everybody else's sleep, but for some reason I couldn't fix my own. And it wasn't until I wore your glasses consecutively for 2 weeks that at the end of those 2 weeks, I completely was off of my sleep supplements. I didn't need them anymore. I was getting sleepy already at night. And so I just stopped taking them. And so I just want to say thank you for your creation because you have transformed my sleep. I no longer need any sort of sleep supplement. So I just put my glasses on when the sun goes down and bada bing, I'm in bed by 9 p.m. So
Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you for the kind words and congratulations. I'm so thrilled that your sleep has improved so noticeably.
Yeah, and I want the listeners to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. You are the founder of these blue light blocking glasses, and I want them to kind of hear from you what your story is, why you came up with the glasses, just kind of a brief overview of what led you to this point.
Yeah, sure. Well, my sleep was always okay. It wasn't fantastic and it wasn't horrible. It was just kind of like, I might get 7 hours most nights, but then I would toss and turn in the night a little bit, or even if I did sleep right through, I'd still wake up a little bit tired and lethargic. So it wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. It was all right. And then I was out in a hotel in Palm Springs with a friend of mine, a guy called Mark, and he was wearing this really ugly pair of safety goggles out to dinner in a Palm Springs restaurant. And there was a table of very attractive women adjacent to us. And I said to my friend, Mark, get those ridiculous goggles off. You look crazy and you're making me look crazy by association. And then actually I've got a pair of the Uvex goggles that he was wearing. Look at these.
Yes.
So you can imagine going out to a nice hotel restaurant wearing these things, right?
Just got off the job site, right?
Yeah. And so he said, no, man, I'm trying to block the blue light. And I said, blue light? What are you talking about? And then he went on to explain to me that the lights in the hotel restaurant were emitting an artificial blue light, which at nighttime tricks my body and brain into thinking that it's daytime, which means that I do not produce as much melatonin, which means I don't sleep as well.
Right.
And then on further investigation, I realized that blue light is being emitted from my cell phone right here, from the very computer screen that you may be watching this on right now, from your television screen, from your kitchen light, bathroom light, and all of that light at night is disrupting our internal body clock, which is called our circadian rhythm.
Yes.
And that is what messes up our sleep. That means some people have trouble falling asleep. Other people toss and turn in the night. Other people wake up feeling tired, even if they've, slept 6, 7, 8 hours. Now, the problem is that I didn't want to wear an ugly pair of workman's goggles around at nighttime. And so I decided to come up with a stylish pair of blue light blocking glasses. And they're the pairs that we're wearing right now. I can see you're wearing the very fashionable, stylish cat eye version. I'm wearing the Swannies glasses Model X. We call the glasses Swannies. My last name is Swanwick. My nickname in school was Swanee. So it was like, we'll call them Swannies. And we've helped more than 50,000 people now sleep better as a result of them wearing these glasses in the last couple of hours before sleep. You remove them before you sleep. A lot of people think, well, hang on, do you sleep with them on? No, you don't sleep with them on. You just wear them right up until the point where you want to go to sleep. You remove them, and then you should be able to sleep noticeably better.
Absolutely. And I actually heard another story that you mentioned when you were getting into this about how you were kind of watching a few episodes of Mad Men, and you had decided to put goggles on to watch them before you got these glasses started.
Yeah, I was right after that Palm Springs meeting with my friend Mark. I went back to my my home in West Hollywood where I was living at the time, and I went into my cupboard and found an old pair of ski goggles that I used to take to Park City, Utah every year to go skiing. And these ski goggles had an amber lens to it. And at the time I was watching Mad Men on AMC. It was a famous TV show. And so I would put these stupid looking goggles on, ski goggles on, and start to watch Mad Men. And what I found was that the amber lens that I was wearing from the ski goggles, I realized that I was starting to get sleepier quicker than if I was watching Mad Men without the goggles.
Right.
Let me put these goggles on because there we go. Yeah, these ones. and then a couple of times I actually fell asleep watching it, and then I would wake up and close my computer and turn off the light and go to sleep. And what I also found was that wearing these goggles, when I woke up in the morning, I realized that I had only woken up once to go and use the bathroom, as opposed to before I was wearing the goggles where I might wake up 3 or even 4 times a night and kind of be restless and toss and turn. And I noticed that when I woke up in the morning, having worn these ski goggles, I actually felt refreshed. It was kind of like oh, that feels pretty good versus like, I just need another 20 minutes. I just need another 20 minutes.
Right.
Let me stay in bed a little.
Sound effects say it all. You can wake up with a, oh, yeah, or a, oh.
So, yeah, I mean, so really that was when I was sold on the idea that this orange lens can block blue light. And the reason why the lens is orange is because the orange is the exact opposite of the color blue. Perfect. And blue is the opposite of orange, obviously. So blue light cannot penetrate an orange lens. Okay. So the reason why we have orange glasses is so the blue light literally will bounce off the lights. Now, if you're watching this on a video, you can literally see the blue light from my screen bouncing off the lens. Do you see that? Can you see that in my reflection?
Yes,
Jodelle?
absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, blue light cannot penetrate an orange lens, which means your body is therefore able to produce melatonin, which means by the time you're ready to remove the glasses and roll over and go to sleep, your body's in a sleep-inducing mode.
Right. And I want to go back to something you said about getting up to pee a lot at night, because I think a lot of people deal with that and they think it's just normal, but it's really not. Like, we shouldn't have that much disrupted sleep. Maybe there's some science behind like what's happening. Maybe that melatonin's not quite getting released enough to where we're not getting that deep sleep, so that little bit of the need to pee is waking us up, or is there more to it than that?
Well, you touched on the right point there where you said deep sleep. We're not getting enough deep sleep. So here's the thing. You can get 7 or 8 hours of sleep, but still toss and turn in the night. And guess what? It's not optimal sleep. Right. It's disrupted sleep. It's like people I always say to people, don't drink coffee after 2 p.m. because it messes with your sleep. And then there's always a handful of people who say, oh, I drink coffee. I drink a cappuccino at night and I go right to sleep. And I say, well, sure, you may go right to sleep because of the coffee, if that's the way that your body reacts. However, the quality of your sleep is going to be severely compromised. Same thing with alcohol. People say, oh, I have a glass of wine just to relax me at the end of the day, and it helps me go to sleep. And I say, okay, sure, the wine may indeed help you get sleepy and go to sleep, but I promise you, your sleep quality and the amount of time that you spend in that deep REM restorative sleep is going to be severely compromised.
Yeah,
for people who are getting up to pee in the middle of the night, it may be something as simple as you are exposed to too much light at night, which means your body's not producing as much melatonin, which means you sleep lightly rather than deeply.
Right. Because I have a theory, like what we do all day determines how well we're going to sleep at night.
So just to be clear, the biggest emitter of blue light is the sun. And
Right.
we want blue light. Like we literally do want blue light. Okay. We want blue light during the day,
Yes.
but we do not want blue light at night.
Right.
So I always tell people that, like, if I was to give, like 5 tips to sleep better, the first tip I would say before you even are trying to block blue light is the very first thing that you should do in the morning is get up, go outside, and expose yourself to blue light. In fact, let me do it now. Okay. I'm walking with my camera.
Might as well.
I'm going to go, let's pretend that I just woke up and I'm like, oh, I'm just waking up. Right. Now I'm going to go outside like this. And I'm literally just going to stand in the sun and let the sun hit me. Now, what that is doing is my skin has receptors in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now the sunlight hitting the skin receptors is now telling my internal body clock, my circadian rhythm, oh, this is daytime. Got it. Daytime. Okay, great. That means that in 12 to 16 hours from now, I know when to start producing melatonin for you, Mr. Body or Mrs. Body. And
going out in the sun, you're making serotonin, which is the precursor to melatonin. So like you're getting the serotonin, which is your feel-good neurotransmitter, and it's also the precursor to that melatonin too. So.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to expose yourself to morning sunlight as quickly as possible after waking up, because that will help you produce melatonin at nighttime and ultimately go to sleep. It's just that at nighttime, we want to block as much light as possible.
Absolutely. I love it. I love hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. So, so the next question I have is about insulin. What in your opinion, does blue light have to do with insulin? Is there an instance where getting too much blue light during the day and at night, like from computer use or smartphone use, could have an effect on your insulin?
Well, obviously too much light, if you're standing in the sun, you're going to get sunburned. And number one, first of all, you can get too much, can get too much of that. So you do have to protect yourself. It's just like, if you have a cup of coffee first thing in the morning, it actually can, increase your cortisol levels.
Yes.
Because your cortisol levels are very high first thing in the morning, and drinking coffee and caffeine has been shown to actually like keep your cortisol levels at an elevated rate for longer. So I always I do drink coffee, but I always wait at least 45 minutes before I actually have my first cup of coffee. In regards to too much light and insulin, all the studies that are coming out now are showing that staring into a computer screen like this and staring into a phone like this and exposing ourselves to all of this light at nighttime increases our chances of cancer, of diabetes, which is linked obviously to high insulin levels, and macular degeneration in the eyes.
Yes.
So the insulin ties in there to the diabetes. Now, a lot of these studies are just starting to come out. Do you remember, obviously, we know now that like in the 1950s, people were starting to talk about, oh, we think smoking might be bad for you. And then in the 60s, it was like, oh, okay, we kind of know that smoking is bad for you. And then the 70s and the 80s and 90s, like, all right, now we have clinical proof that smoking is bad for you. And now it's just accepted smoking is bad for you. So right now, we're in that kind of phase where it's like only a few people are kind of sounding the alarm. It's like, oh, staring at this iPhone all day might actually be bad for us.
Right.
Oh, watching TV or exposing yourself to it might actually be bad for us. And now the medical studies are starting to come out and showing kids with like macular degeneration and only before they're even 10 years old.
I know.
With like attention problems and suffering from poor grades because they're staring into these mini suns and these electronics all day. Yeah. So it's, I think over the coming years, we're going to see huge, awareness of this problem, and people like you and me, Jodelle, are going to be considered pioneers, people who were like sounding the alarm right from the beginning.
Yeah, because a lot of people will listen and hear me say, nutrition's only 1/3 of getting healthy. The other 2/3 is what you're doing outside of the kitchen. And that has to do with, you can eat the world's best diet and have the best exercise, but if you're constantly behind a computer screen getting radiation and blue light, you're not going to see optimal results. You're not going to feel optimal. You're not going to
Right.
sleep optimally. And
Right.
so it stands to reason that we really need to focus on eliminating that blue light as much as possible. So for instance, with regard to someone that works behind a computer all day or computer techs out there, do you recommend that they wear these blue light blocking glasses all throughout the day when they're on the computer, or just at night?
Yeah, so great question. The answer is I use my Swannies blue light blocking glasses sporadically throughout the day when I'm on a computer. So for example, right now we're recording this during the daytime, right? Now I'm staring at the screen. For anything longer than 20 minutes staring at the screen, I will put my Swannies glasses on for like 15 minutes. Right. Just to eliminate that blue light exposure from the screen, because overuse of staring into a mini sun like this, into a computer, can give me headaches and migraines and eye strain. So what I'll do is I'll put the glasses on. It gives me temporary relief from all of that blue light exposure. I have greater productivity, more clarity, more focus. And then, I'll take them off and I might work without them. I'll go outside, expose myself to some blue light. Because remember, during the daytime, we want blue light. Right. But what we don't want is just to be staring into blue light for 8 hours a day on a computer screen all day.
Right. So, well, it dehydrates you. It depletes that melatonin that's supposed to be made from the serotonin precursor during the day and then released at night. So yeah, it's dehydrating you too, which is another thing I wanted to mention with you. I'm sure you know about like unintentional chronic dehydration, where all of this radiation, including the blue light, is actually dehydrating the cells of our body. So.
Well, I mean, I always just, however much water I think I should drink during the day, I try to double it. Right. Because it's nothing is, it's so important to just drink as much water as you can.
I agree.
Yeah. So, wearing the glasses during the day sporadically, and then the gold standard really is the last hour before you want to go to sleep at night, put these on and keep them on until you've switched the last light off. What you don't want to do is wear them for the last hour before you go to sleep and then remove them to brush your teeth, because then you're exposing yourself to that bathroom light.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that, because so many people are like, well, I'm not on my device at night. I mean, I might be watching TV, or I might be, every now and then I'll check a text message, but I'm not on my device. And I'm like, yeah, but are you turning on the kitchen lights? You're turning on the bathroom lights? This is blue light too. And so I'm so glad you mentioned that, because it's not just about screens. Sometimes it's just what we're doing to illuminate our world at night that needs to be dimmed, so.
Yeah. And if you're listening or watching this now and you wear prescription glasses, don't worry, I got you, because we actually have a pair of fit-over glasses that go over the top of prescription glasses. A lot of
I have those.
People say, oh, you've got them, have you?
Yes.
Oh, great,
I have 4 pair of Swannies, so don't worry about me. I'm doing all right.
Jodelle, super fan. We love you. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I mean, when it transformed my sleep as much as it did, I wanted to make sure that I had no excuse for not wearing them. So like I wear glasses before I go to bed because I have contacts during the day. And so as soon as the glasses go on, my fit overs go on. And that way I have no excuse for why I am not blocking the blue light. So
that's so great. And if you have children as well, as I know you do, Jodelle, kids are most susceptible to blue light exposure, because as we age and mature and go into adolescence and adulthood, we actually create or produce a much more natural barrier to blue light exposure. Mm-hmm. But when we're kids, we don't have that natural filter. So if you're giving your kids an iPad to go and watch cartoons or to play games, if they're like being troublesome and you say, go and watch a TV show to try and get some temporary relief, and they're sitting there watching the TV screen, we actually may be inadvertently exposing them to all of that blue light and causing them eye problems down the road. Mm-hmm. So we created a pair of kids' Swannies glasses as well, which are kind of like neon colors. These are the blue ones here.
That's what my daughter has.
Oh, yeah? And she wears hers consistently, Jodelle?
Yes. Anytime. Well, I don't let her on a lot of devices, and we don't really watch TV at night. But if we are going to watch something that's after the sun's going down, maybe a little, she likes to watch Flipper from like the 1960s, the old Flipper episodes. So we'll watch Flipper the Dolphin. And if she does, she puts those on. Or if we go out at night to a restaurant, which is rare because we're all usually in bed by 8:30. But if we do, she has her blue blockers on just like I do. And we get the funniest looks, but then also people go, those are really cute. So the one thing you also did, like you mentioned, is made them so stylish that you can go out and people compliment you versus say, what the heck are you wearing? So.
Yeah, well, no one wants to look like a weirdo when you're wearing weird glasses out at nighttime. But I found that wearing the Swannies glasses, because of the orange lens, people don't think that they're a sunglass. They go, oh, they're interesting. Tell me about those. What are those?
Yeah.
And you can see the eyes as well, which is important. I think if you went out to a restaurant or a public and you were wearing glasses where you couldn't see someone's eyes, people might go, why are you wearing your sunglasses at night? It's kind of like that 1980s song, I wear my sunglasses
at night. Right. Yeah. They knew what they were talking about. Well, and it's so cool too, because like, this is such an easy fix that someone can do to not have to change their lifestyle in the evening. They can still Netflix and chill. They can still play on Instagram, but they put these on and they probably won't do it as long because they'll get sleepy and want to go to bed. And that's why it's worked so well for my clients. Like, yeah, I give them, the kind of food swaps we're going to make and stuff like that. But in every single email that I send with my recommendations, there's the link for Swannies in there that says the next thing you're going to do is get these, because we cannot improve anything else until we improve your circadian rhythm.
Yeah. It's a great point. I don't tend to watch that much TV. However, I kind of got addicted to the TV series The Crown on Netflix recently, and it's a guilty pleasure I have. I foolishly turned Netflix on one day and went, oh, The Crown, I'll just watch 5 minutes. The next thing I knew, I was in like a 20-episode marathon. And so, but guess what? I watched the entire series while wearing a pair of Swannies glasses. And there were so many of those, I think it was 2 series of 10 episodes. I would say maybe half of them, a good half of them, I literally fell asleep on the sofa because the blue light couldn't get through. The show was wonderful and captivating, but these things are so powerful that they literally start helping your body produce melatonin and falling asleep. Now, I was starting to watch The Crown at like 9:30 at night. I should clarify. It's not like if I was watching it at noon, or 1 p.m. on a Tuesday and I put the glasses on that I would fall asleep, because hopefully you're out there and you're just living your life and you're supposed to be awake for 16 hours of the day anyway. But right. I'm talking specifically at nighttime when we're trying to optimize our sleep. It's imperative that when you are watching TV, like I was watching The Crown on Netflix, you protect your eyes from the blue light that is being emitted from that television screen. So you can enjoy watching The Crown on Netflix while also ensuring that you get a great night's sleep.
Yeah, see, no need to change your routine. Just slip those right on your face and you'll be amazed at how much quicker you'll go to bed, and you'll rest deeper too. So I wanted to touch on your blog because I love reading the blog posts on swanwicksleep.com's website. And the one you had recently was on night shift on Apple iPad and iPhone's night shift mode. Why is it that people can't just rely on that to block the blue light? This was a wonderful blog post, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because this is why the glasses are still important, even if you have night shift on.
Yeah, so I think it's just important to clarify what night shift is for those who don't know. So there is a setting on your iPhone called night shift, which if you go into your brightness settings and you activate night shift, at nighttime, it will reduce the blue light exposure from your phone. Your screen will start to look orange in nature. And you know what? It's a good setting. I mean, it's probably like a 2 or a 3 out of 10 in its effectiveness.
Yeah, so I have mine on all the time. You probably can't see it on this phone, but it's on all the time too. But yeah, keep going. I just wanted to show that it does make it a little bit oranger. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, and it's in effectiveness, it might be a 2 or 3 out of 10. Like it's a good thing to do, no question. However, it's not a 9 out of 10. In terms of its effectiveness. And it does nothing about the light that's coming at you from your bathroom light, kitchen light, television screen, speedometer, the traffic lights, the McDonald's arches that you drive past in your car each night, from in the restaurants, from your alarm clock light. I mean, there's just too much light at night. So while night shift is good, it's not outstanding and it doesn't solve the problem. So couple things to really have the gold standard is definitely use night shift. And if you have an Android phone, there's a setting called Twilight. And Twilight is the same as the night shift setting on iPhone as well. On your computer, if you download the setting called Flux, F.LUX, that will also reduce the blue light exposure on your television, on your computer screen rather. And those two settings are good.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they do nothing about the blue light coming at you from your television screen, from your bathroom light, kitchen light, alarm clock light.
Right.
So really the gold standard is, yes, use night shift. Yes, use twilight. Yes, use Flux. Yes, try to have an electronics curfew late at night. But if you are going to ignore all of that advice, for sure, put on a pair of blue light blocking glasses. And that is really the gold standard, 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, because it's just something that they marry together really nicely, to have the night shift and the glasses to make sure you're blocking it all out, so that you actually are telling your body in all ways that you're looking and all the different directions that your eyes go, this is night, it's time to wind down. So another blog post that you had was about autism, which was really fascinating, and how, this chronic blue light exposure to our children could have something to do with more autistic symptoms. Is that what I was reading? Like the symptoms can actually be worse?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the same with, things other than autism as well. We've got attention deficit disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Studies are coming out to show that you have an increased likelihood of that if you're exposing yourself to blue light. Like we said before, obesity.
Yes.
Just remember that people who don't sleep well tend to store more fat.
Yes.
And think about it. If you're tired and lethargic in the morning, what do you do to try and raise your energy? You're more inclined to have a sugary, carb-laden bagel, or put a couple of sugars in your coffee, or you drink a Coke or a Red Bull or something to get up and about because you're tired. And what does that do? Well, it puts more calories in you, which stores more fat, which makes you more tired, which then disrupts your sleep patterns. And this vicious cycle just continues. So you mentioned autism, sure, diabetes, obesity, cancer, all of the studies now are being linked to this blue light exposure and this not sleeping well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's such a trickle-down effect of lack of sleep, because that's your rest and digest time. And so many things can manifest in a harmful way when you're not getting that rest and not getting the quality rest. So I think what you're doing is a service all the way around. So it's going to start with people just sleeping better. But then what if just the fact that they wear the glasses at night and they sleep better, they end up in a few weeks' time losing 5 to 10 pounds because they're resting and digesting and they're sleeping better and their insulin's better and they're not eating as much as they normally would. Because, when you don't sleep, ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, is released. So that's something to be concerned with too. You're going to be more hungry with all of that chronic blue light exposure as well as lack of sleep. So
here's an example of a day in the life of an average person, okay?
Okay.
So they wake up, they don't expose themselves to blue light initially. They just go about their day. They wake up kind of tired. Yeah, I slept all right, but not great. So I'm a little bit tired. So then on the way to work, we go, I'm going to quickly drink a coffee. I'll put some cream, some sugar in there, and I'll have a bagel or something else just to give me a little pick me up. Mm-hmm. So now you're kind of tired and you're irritable. So you're more prone to maybe snap at your husband or your wife or your kid, or maybe you're late for work, or maybe you're just not as effective as you could be at your job. And so now you miss out on a promotion at work because you're tired and you're not being as clear and as focused or as productive as you can be, which makes you feel a little crappy. And so you come home from work and you're like, just need to relax. And so you pour yourself a glass of wine and you turn on Netflix and you watch TV and you don't protect your eyes. And then you go to sleep exhausted. And because you didn't protect your eyes and because you didn't sleep well, you toss and turn in the night, and then you wake up feeling tired. And then because you're tired, you snap at your wife or your husband or your kids, and this cycle just continues, right? And all of that, you're storing fat along the way. Maybe you're not exercising as much as you can be. And maybe if you are exercising like 5 times a week even, because that's what you want to do and you really want to lose weight, maybe you're undoing all of that excellent exercise simply by not blocking the blue light at night and by not sleeping well, because the most important thing is sleep, because it repairs your body from the exercise. So all of these things are linked. If we can just focus on sleeping as well as we can sleep, you'll probably be able to lose weight, have more energy, have more focus, have more clarity, have better relationships, do better at your job, get a promotion, make more money, be happier, get fitter, have better relationships, make more money, be happier,
True.
and so forth and so forth and so forth. It's all linked together.
Yeah. And like, what a simple solution is just work on your sleep, hone in on that sleep more so than anything to have that trickle down effect to everything else in your life. So in that sense, if you were going to give people, like you mentioned 5 tips earlier about sleeping, other than, of course, we need to be wearing these, what are some other tips? Because you also have some great products on your website that are not just blue blocker glasses. And one of them I'm going to mention is the diffuser. I have used so many oil diffusers in my time that don't always emit the smell, and they don't always smell as amazing as yours. Yours tops them all. And I'm not just saying that because I like Swanwick glasses. I'm saying that I've tested them all because I love to burn certain oils in my home. So absolutely, they have to get this diffuser too. So your 5
thank you.
and then some of your products.
Yeah, sure. Well, look, without just like rattling off some of my products, I'd rather just give like the best kind of protocol on how to sleep better at night. And some of them may include some of my products. But first things first is perfect. Here's the gold standard for sleeping well, okay? First thing in the morning, go out, expose yourself to sunlight. It sets your circadian rhythm in check. That's going to help you sleep later on at night. Second thing, studies have shown that morning exercise helps you sleep better than evening exercise.
Absolutely.
I think that's because of 2 reasons. One, people who exercise in the morning tend to do it more regularly because life hasn't got in the way. And so they're committed to doing it first thing in the morning. They do it and then they go and people who exercise more generally tend to be happier or fitter and healthier, and so sleep better. And secondly, if you exercise at nighttime too close to bedtime, your core body temperature rises. And what we know about optimal sleep is that we want our core body temperature to be as cool as possible. Tip number 3 is sleep in a cool environment. So 65 degrees to 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Studies have shown is the optimal range that we want to sleep in for the best possible sleep.
67 right here. I'm 67. So.
There you go, 67. Terrific. No caffeine after 2 p.m. Even if you're the type of person that loves coffee at dinner and you fall asleep, okay, the quality of your sleep will be compromised. So just say, bang, no more coffee after 2 p.m. Done. Obviously, if you can, the gold standard is just to have a screen curfew at nighttime. But let's face it, you're not going to do it because you're an addict, and I'm an addict because I watch Netflix and watch The Crown late at night. So
I do actually have a curfew. My phone, people can't talk to me after 8 p.m. It's off. So like I do have a curfew.
If you can have a screen curfew, great. But I'm going to assume that you can't and that you don't want to.
Won't. Yes, you're right.
So download Night Shift on your phone, on your iPhone. Twilight on your Android. Download Flux on your computer.
And Iris is another one too. Iris Tech, they're making a screen blocker as well for computers.
Great. Yeah. Wear a pair of the Swannies blue light blocking glasses at nighttime. I put mine on in the last hour before I sleep. I don't tend to do it for the 3 hours. You can, that's gold standard. But, I wear mine the last hour and I sleep flawlessly. So put those glasses on. And then when you go to sleep, I would definitely encourage you to wear a really good sleep mask because there's all this light that's still coming through into your bedroom, maybe from the street lamp or from your alarm clock light. This is a Swanwick product, actually. This is our oversized 100% pure silk sleeping mask, and it feels so good because it's silk. It's not one of those. I love
that. Yes.
It's not one of those kind of like nasty ones they give you on a plane, which is cotton and it digs into the back of your head.
Right.
This is really soft, and silk retains moisture. So you can actually wake up in the morning and feel like you've had moisturizer on all night because it retains the moisture in your skin, which means you have less visible crow's feet and wrinkles. I know ladies are particularly, like conscious of that. So wearing silk on your face will not only block that light. See, I don't even know whether it's day. I can't even tell that it says light. There's so much coverage that it's like pure darkness.
Well, silk is a natural fiber. You're not getting any synthetic fibers with that. That's a natural fiber. So you're not getting the little small plastic particles from polyester melting into your skin. So yes.
Magnesium, you can actually, we have a magnesium product where you can a magnesium oil, you can spray it onto your muscles. before you go to sleep at night. What it does is it removes calcium from your body, and that has a very relaxing feeling. That's more of like how to optimize it. You don't need to do that, but if you really want to like get super geeky about it, then magnesium or a magnesium supplement. Oil diffuser or air diffuser, like you suggested there, like we have one in our store at swanwicksleep.com. Is another one. You can burn essential oils like lavender. Lavender is really nice for inducing sleepiness. And then I would also say try to ensure that you have blackout curtains in your room.
Yeah,
so you want to block as much light that's coming through in the morning until the point that it's time for you to wake up. Then you want to open the curtains and flood your body with light. But until the point that you wake up, you want to block as much of that light as possible. And I think if you do most of those things, you will notice a considerable difference in your sleep. I can't guarantee that you'll get longer sleep or, I can't guarantee anything, but what I can say is this: more than 50,000 people across the world have used our glasses now. And most of them report that their sleep improved noticeably. That could be 10%, 15%, 50%. It varies, right? But if you can just do that simple thing of blocking blue light at night, I would be shocked if your sleep did not improve.
Yes. And I totally agree. And in fact, recently I was at my aunt's house with my cousin and her. My cousin's 16, and my aunt had been seeing me wear these glasses, and I had brought all my pairs with me. And I was like, here, put these on. So the first night they wore them, slept better. Next night she went and got them. Like, I didn't even have to tell her. She went and got them in my room and put them on. And now every time she's visited me, she's put on the glasses, and I'm like, why have you not bought a pair yet? And she's like, oh, I don't know, I just haven't bought them, but they really do work. Every time I'm at your house or I'm with you, they make me sleep better. And I'm like, but that's what all it takes is that little act of just getting the glasses, basically. And the other thing I wanted to touch on with the diffuser is I burn balsam fir oil, and it like lowers cortisol. It's a natural cortisol like antagonist. So balsam fir, it smells like a pine forest in your house. So that's another one people can try too. So
that's a good one. I like that. Yeah,
it's wonderful. It's just like calming, and it just makes your stress level go way down. But I know I've taken up a ton of your time, so I want to let you go. But before I do, I wanted to see if I could make a special request. Could we put together like a code that we could initiate right now for the listeners? It's only good for a certain time, because I have another code that Swanwick has allowed me to use that's GETFIT, GETFIT, that saves some. I think it's either 10 or 20%. But I was like, if there was a code and a time frame that we could give right now to those listeners who are contemplating like whether or not they should do this, what would that be? Could we do that?
Yeah, of course we can. What code do you want to use? You make it up for me right now, Jodelle.
Oh, okay. Let's do on the spot, man. You're putting me on the spot. How about Swanee for me?
Swanee for me? Swannies?
Yeah, Swannies and then for me. How about that?
And is it the number 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so Swannies for me is the number 4. Okay.
Yeah, and it's only good for my listeners, and you can decide how much they get off.
Okay, cool. So what percentage off do we want to give them?
Like 25%?
Done. 25% off for Jodelle's listeners.
And it's only good until the end of August 30th. So it's only good for that. How about that?
Okay, great.
Or earlier. You can decide on the date too. But
okay, so Swannies for me is the code. Swannies is SWANNIES.
Yes.
The number 4 and me. Now, I am technically challenged. So just in case Swannies for me is too long and it doesn't work, make sure you check down at Jodelle's page, wherever this is here, and she'll give you the updated code. But let's assume that Swannies for me is and will work.
Okay.
That's good. And if it doesn't for whatever reason, I'm sure you should just go to Jodelle's page and you'll find the correct or the new updated code.
Yes. Yeah. So I will put it in the show notes, and then I will also put it to where they can go onto my shop page and access it that way too. So thank you so much for doing that. And thank you so much for your time. This has been enlightening, and I wanted people to hear it straight from you. And obviously, if people want to get in touch with you or just further any questions or look up more products, what would you like to recommend? How can they find you?
Yeah, so use that code at our website, swanwicksleep.com, SWANWICK sleep.com. Follow us on Instagram at SwanwickSleep. And we've got an amazing customer support team that respond super quickly and are well-versed in our products. You can email them at support@swanwicksleep.com.
Awesome. And if people want to find you, are you on social media to where they can find
you? You can follow me at James Swanwick, JamesSwanwick. Okay. Send me a DM there and say, hey, I heard you on Jodelle's show and just wanted to say hi. So I'll message you back if you do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you guys, this is awesome that they've got this code for us going. So take advantage of it because this is a really great deal for these glasses. So James, I appreciate your time and let's go outside after this and mitigate some of the blue light that we've done here. So
That's right. Well, thank you for having me, Jodelle. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Have a wonderful day.